for today's video, I'm just going to be taking you through how to do a really simple smoky eye. You can probably tell I've done the rest of my makeup already, and I'm just going to be using this BYOP ColourPop palette. BYOP stands for Bring Your Own Palette. It's a sale they do where you get to pick your little case and then you get to pick what you want inside of it. I've got a highlight, a blush and a bronzer in mine, and the rest is all eyeshadows. Basically all you need for your usual smoky eye is 4 eyeshadows. I'm going to do brown today, but you can do this in any colour. You just need to make sure the colours like blend well together and match. You don't want anything that clashes or anything like that. You can do styles like that, but for like a simple sort of natural one, you kind of want things to work well together. I'll put all the names of the shades down below. When I was picking out the colours of eyeshadows and stuff that I wanted, I kind of decided that I only needed one highlight shade and the rest of it, so basically these here are my crease shades. It depends on what sort of look. This is more warm and this is more cool. This one's also more pinky. It just depends what I'm going for, because like mainly I use like this section and then I've chucked in a glitter for fun, just in case I ever feel like wearing that. Usually if I go for a colour, I go for like a sort of purpley colour or a greeny colour, but usually I kind of stick to brown, which is just super natural and easy to use. For a smoky eye, all you really need are 4 colours. So you need a highlight shade and you need a crease shade, which today I'm going to use this one. You need a shade for your outer corners, which is usually, it's going to be the darkest shade because you need to deepen up your outer corners. And you also need a shade for your lid. Usually I like shimmery shades on my lid because I really like glitter. I think I'm going to go this like nice pink colour. So these are my shades. I'm going to just number them. So 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like a paint by colour sort of theme today. That's what I'm going with. You kind of need this a lighter shade to highlight, a crease shade, so it's like a mid-tone sort of brownie colour. Like you can use different colours, but it's like a mid-tone colour that you can like blend in to cover like all over here. And then the darkest colour is the outer corners, because like I said before, you need to deepen them up to really give it like an added dimension, and then a shimmery shade to make it look pretty. With that all said, I am gonna get started. I've already primed my eyes with the Urban Decay Eden eyeshadow primer potion. So now I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna take this just Juno & Co fluffy brush and just chuck it in here in my crease shade. So you wanna like blend. I always start from the outer corner and kind of like go through the crease. And then I always personally just, well, usually I'll take it all over my lid. I also, because I have a little bit of a hooded lid, I have to go a bit higher than the crease just so it's like you get that extra definition above it and you can really see it when I have my eyes open. I'm also just going to run this with the same brush under my eyelid and just kind of brush it up towards the brow so it kind of is kind of doing like a liner sort of thing. I'm going to take another fluffy brush. This one's going to be a little bit smaller. This one's just my LMX fluffy brush. And I'm going to go into the dark shade. And I'm just going to start in the outer crease and just kind of pat it on and like blend it around slightly into the crease, but not all the way with like I did with the other one. And I just kind of want to blend down as well so it goes towards the lash line. With eyeshadows as well, it's like you want to start with like a light hand and build it up rather than going with too much at the start, because you can't really take it away once it's there. You can blend it out, but if there's too much, there's going to be too much. So you want to go in light and kind of just add layers almost. So now you can see that I've definitely deepened up my outer corners. The most important part about this is just blending it, really. You just want to make sure that you have everything in the right place and then you kind of all blend it so it all looks smooth and it comes together really well. Next I'm going to go with just a flat shader brush into this shade. So this is going to go all over my lid. Sometimes with like glittery shades it's easier to apply them with your fingers. I'm just going to see how I go with this. So you can see I've got the shades. They don't look amazing all together at the moment. After you put the crease shade on, you have to blend out all these harsh lines. So I'm just going to start off by going back into the darkest shade and deepening my outer corners again. And next I'm going to go back into my crease shade and just blend out the crease. Just make sure it's all sitting well together. I'm just blending up out the outer edges again, just for like that wing sort of look. You can see it's pretty subtle. Like I haven't made it too dark at the outer corners. I might actually go back in. You can go back and forth as many times as you want, because when you darken it up, if you go too far, you can blend it out with your crease shade. So that's pretty much the top done. I'm just gonna grab another sort of flat brush. This one's a bit fluffy. This is the Morphe and Jeffree Star JS6, and I'm just going to go into my highlighting shade and just run this along my brow bone, just under my eyebrow, just to highlight that. And I'm also going to go in to my inner corners with this one, just to make it pop a bit. Next we have to do the lower lash line part. I'm just going to go back into my crease shade and just run this under. I've already done it before, but I'm just going to make it a little bit darker. Next I'm going to go in with like a reasonably thin tipped brush. I'm just into the darker shade and run this along the lower lash line, not as messily as I did, pretty close to like the waterline, just to about halfway across. Sometimes I'll draw up with this as well, just to kind of give it like a liner effect. There you go. I'm just gonna reblend with the crease shade. And also I'm going to take this flat shader brush again, and with the glittery shade, I'm just going to run it under my lower lash line, just next to the inner corner. I only want a tiny bit. You don't have to do this part, but I kind of like the way it looks, like mirroring the top and the bottom, like matching exactly. Usually I use a thinner brush, but I'm running out of brushes, so that's going to do. You can see how I've done that. So I've blended it in pretty well. You can go back and forth as many times as you want, deepening out the outer corners and then, you know, blending it all back out. Usually this is kind of what I settle with. I have different crease shades in this palette as well. I just felt like the peachy one is the most like daytime friendly. These ones are beautiful, but this one's quite dark as well, so it just depends on how dark you want to go. But I'm going out today, so I thought I should probably wear something a bit more light. I'm just going to quickly finish up the rest of my makeup and I'll come back. So I completed the look. See? I just added the ColourPop Crème Gel Liner in Swerve, which is just their black colour. And then I curled my lashes and used the e.l.f. Mineral Infused Mascara. I also chucked the ColourPop Just a Tint Lip Crayon in Gimme Small on my lips as well. And I also used the Arbonne Let It Set setting spray. So this is the final look. You can see it's a pretty natural looking smoky eye today. I haven't gone crazy. You can also add wings liner if you want. I was thinking about it, but because I'm going out during the day, I was like, oh, it might be a bit much. But today I was just like, you know what, I think it looks fine like this. Let's go out like this. Of course you can go as dramatic as you want, and you can go into like whatever color scheme you want. When I was younger, I always used to think that with a smoky eye it had to be like black, but I actually think it's better if you have like a brown sort of color, because it's less dramatic. But with this palette, so if I was going to do a purple or green smoky eye, I would probably still use one of these two as the crease shades depending on how I felt on the day, and then I'd use these to deepen up the outer corners. Otherwise, I could do it as these are the crease shades, and then the darkest shade still is the outer corner shade, and then obviously these are the shades that go on the lid, and every time this here is going to be my brow bone and inner corner highlight. I kind of wanted to style this as like paint by numbers, which is kind of hard when you don't have a picture to work with. It's just me. But basically, I said before 1, 2, 3, and 4. So 1 is here and here. 2 is all over the lid and throughout the crease and under as well, like blended under. And then 3 is just on the outer corners, slightly blended up through the crease and then slightly blended along the lower lash line. And then 4 is all over the lid and just under the inner part of the lower lash line. I feel like that's the easiest way to describe it, and that's the easiest way to sort of get this look. You can have as many shades as you want and like do things, but I just think this is like a really simple way. If you didn't even want like a shimmery lid shade, if you just wanted a matte look, you could always just do the crease shade all over your lid as well and through the crease, and then deepen it up from the outside and then highlight. This is the simplest way that I like doing it, but it's the pattern that I follow every time I do it, no matter what palette I'm using or what color scheme I go for. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope I was able to help you with this today. Like, I hope you understood what I was trying to explain to you. I hope you were able to pick something up that is useful to you. But let me know if you have any questions, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. And I will see you next time. So I bought this, obviously. There we go. I personally, much for gutching.